Oh, okay. Okay. I think it went live. Are we live? We are live! Hello, everyone here on Facebook today. So good to see you. I'm just going to do some quick double checks, making sure I am running good here. I thought I've been working on editing my videos and stuff for Call of Duty. And from No Man's Sky and a whole bunch of other stuff, and still having the same issue, unfortunately, with the video card that still... I got an adapter, and I plugged it in. I got it Wednesday, and I was like, all right, we're going to plug in the XP Pen tablet, and I got it in there, and it ran, and I sit there and drawled for a while. I'm like, okay, it's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work. No. This video card is driving me crazy. So I was like, I'm so tired of not being able to show any art. I was like, if this keeps up, I'm just gonna grab the camera, point it down to some paper, and you're gonna see me draw on that. And that's where we will be at if that happens. But I still have my old Wacom tablet. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Intuos 3, which I haven't used in quite a while. I'm still happy I still have it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to Old Faithful that's all scratched up on the screen and everything, you know, and see if I can just do it that way. And it did work. So, because it's straight USB. It doesn't need an HDMI, it doesn't need all that stuff because it's not displaying anything, you're just drawing on it. But it's like the reverse again, I gotta look at the screen instead of looking at what I'm doing. Oh man, technology, as I have said, when it works great. When it doesn't, I want to go crazy. Crazier than I already am. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well today. As always, I hope you guys had a good week. We've had some more recording. I did say on my Twitch stream Wednesday when they dropped the No Man's Sky Voyagers update that I would be recording at some point some more about the process and how to put together your Corvette and how we were going to do that. So last night with a couple of buddies, we actually spent a lot of time doing that, and I got that whole thing recorded, and I'm going to be posting that on YouTube on my channel along with all the Call of Duty stuff and some other clips from Star Wars Battlefront because I streamed that Friday night for game night. And if this Wacom tablet keeps it up, like I said, we're going to get some drawing done this week. One way or the other, we're going to see some drawing here on social media. I'm determined. So, let me get into it before I ramble on, because you guys know how I am. I love to ramble for some reason. So what you're probably seeing, and I'm sure my screen is covering it up a little bit for the webcam. Let me go back and look. Okay, good. So if I go down just a little bit, you guys can see the whole thing. Okay. So this was a thumbnail that I created recently for the No Man's Sky when Puma and I were trying everything out on Wednesday night. And I got the image here, over here to the left, on from online. It was a little bit, actually it was 100 DPI, which I was surprised because that's the problem when you get images offline. They're always 72, they're very low res, and for a good reason, you know, so people can load them. Also, you can't steal them and go make something yourself. But it makes it really difficult when you want to showcase the work of the company or the studio, whatever, and you're trying to mix it up. Because my old ones, it's a little pixelated, and I actually found one recently that was really good. So I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to replace all those thumbnails now, which means I gotta go back and redo about 7 different thumbnails. Do I really want to do that? These are the questions you have to ask. Like, oh, I can make it look better, but is it worth it? But like I said, right now what I'm working on, and I'm gonna switch to the other one if the thing will let me. Like I said, the Wacom's a little wonky on this, so me zoom that out just a little bit. This is the thumbnail I created years ago when Modern Warfare came out, and I had my good cohort out there, Regis Mark V. Wait, I hope good to see you today if you're watching. had asked to see some stuff he wanted. We were talking about first-person shooters, and I said, you know, I'm just not. That's where the old man came from. You're like, I'm just old. I can't do it anymore. I can't see. I need better glasses, which I still do. But I had put all these clips together. This is when I was forced. I couldn't record in real time. So I'm like playing on the Xbox and hitting the record button over and over. Now they got the little tiny little button that you can just push and it kind of does it itself, which I was like, well, that would have been nice. But I love the fact that I don't have to do that anymore, so that I can just record everything in real time and you get to hear me. That was the other thing. You couldn't hear what I was saying. You couldn't hear the, you know, my humor, or, you know, maybe that was a good thing in some ways. I don't know. But with this one, I wanted to do something similar. Since the one I'm working on is about 30 minutes, I wrote down so many clips, or made clips. It's kind of ironic, and put it together, which was a whole bunch of funny stuff to me, some really cool, and I'll be sharing that stuff throughout the week. But I wanted to keep the same kind of theme going that I have with this one, because I kind of like it and everything. I'm like, oh, that's kind of it. Now, I probably won't have the white border, because if you guys go back over here, you'll see I have the blue border now, and that's kind of more into the theme that I was going with. And that's been a development over the years of creating thumbnails, learning how to do it, trying to figure out what's the correct DPI, what's the correct pixel size, and then they change it on you. Like YouTube, this is a whole crazy thing about social media too, if you guys are not aware, or maybe you are. So on YouTube, you can have I think it's like, what, 2 or 3 megabytes size thumbnail. So you can make some pretty decent ones. When I go to Twitch and I was trying to put this thumbnail up on the highlight, it was too big. And I'm like, oh man, that means I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to resize it again. I'm going to have to lower it to make it compatible for their thing. And I decided, you know what, it's not worth it. I got one up there, so I'm not going to worry about the rest of them. And that's another thing that can be frustrating when you're creating stuff for social media, or when I did stuff for clients and I was creating thumbnails and stuff for them. The different, like, Facebook has its way of doing things, and then YouTube has its way of doing things, and you have to learn and go into figuring out, like, the different pixelations, what your limitations are, and that does kind of restrict you sometimes on how you can compose things together. One of the cool things now that Facebook and YouTube are doing, and I think even Twitch does it, where I believe so, where it will auto-generate a thumbnail for you, which is convenient if it chooses something that is nice or kind of goes with the theme of what you're trying to convey to the viewer. Facebook does have this awesome part. I'll give them this. When you go to do an auto-generated thumbnail with them, you can actually go through the frames of all the video and choose one frame to click on. And I try to click on things like that to make it worthwhile, you know, because you're trying to get people's attention very quickly. You want them to look at what you're doing, see this quick image. It's like a cover of a book, a cover of a poster, or anything. You want to grab the viewer's attention as quickly as possible. Now, I don't know if I always accomplish that or not. YouTube has this wonderful thing too, where it gives you choices, where if you go on there, it will suggest thumbnails to you, like, hey, you might try this a different way and stuff. And I've done that on a couple of things just to see what it would give me. And some of the choices I liked, some of them I was like, this doesn't feel like me. This doesn't feel who I am. Does that hinder me from reaching out to people? It's a possibility. But again, these are artistic choices as an artist yourself that you have to make. Just like my whole theme, like you guys have been seeing, this has been developing for years, because I never intended to start out as Legacy 717 Studios. It was always supposed to be my Imagination Ventures and Entertainment. But that was taken. Ivy was taken when I got on Facebook, and it was taken in other places. So this was my backup. And it's been a development trying to put all this together and trying to make it to, for me, the reason why I always go blue is because I know visually, hopefully, it gets in people's heads that they recognize my artistic taste on that, or my style, or my brand. And that's what I've been trying to create more and more, even with the fonts, using the same fonts, using the same kind of layout, is that creates a brand that's recognition to me. And that hopefully if someone's coming across of it and they may be a fan of mine, or they may have heard of me or something and they're looking for me. That's why a lot of my avatars are the same too. It's either the Legacy 717 logo, or it's my old drawing of me holding the coffee cup, which I will be updating that soon because I'm tired of looking at it. Just kind of like, oh, this thing's so old. And maybe I'll get to do that in real time with you guys as well, either here or on YouTube or Twitch. I'm still working out all the streaming things. And like I said, when it comes to streaming, I think Twitch has it the best. It's so much easier to just get to what you want and putting it out there, and it's just designed well, better for that. I'm not saying that Facebook or YouTube can't do it. YouTube is probably a little bit better than Facebook, because Facebook is still confusing me. I have to have so many menus up, and I always have to have a title. Okay, here's my title. I have to have a description. Okay, well, maybe in case someone actually reads the description, they may click on the video. But the truth of it is, how many people really read descriptions? I mean, if you guys really want to get some kick out of some things, go look at some of my descriptions on my YouTube channel on some of that stuff, and you will find where I'm literally telling you, you're not reading this. Are you even looking at it? And that's another thing, too. Easter eggs. I have put in so many Easter eggs and things over the years, and I've only had a couple people catch a couple things so far. And if you guys actually do make it to all the way to the end of my video, if it entertains you enough, because I'm not going to say that you should watch everything all the way through. If you don't like it, don't do that. But I always have like a little outtake or something relatable at the end, because I had a guy ask me recently, I got a message saying, why do you always seem to have that video with you looking around? And I said, well, that was actually a mistake. I was recording one day, and there was inside the house, and the plate broke in the background, and I was trying to figure out, where did that come from? But I thought that was really funny. I'm like, you know what? If I put different sound effects with this every time, it kind of works. So I always put a little sound effect with it. And if you go through my videos and you see I talk about clones and going back in time and making duplicate copies of myself from the transport for some of the comedy skits, it's all in the same theme. So to me, that is me talking to myself back in the day. When I was first starting, like, look at how far you come. Look what you're still doing wrong, you know. So, but yeah, I always try. That's my artistic chase. That's my choice of stuff like that. And like I said, we don't really talk about these things. I've been quiet for a while because I was waiting to see if someone would catch it. Like I said, a couple people did, and I was displaying that to this gentleman through email correspondence, and he was like, "Oh, that's funny." I'll have to go back and watch those again. And I'm like, yeah, well, if you want to, I appreciate that. Because every time you guys watch something, every time you hit a like button, every time you make a comment, that greatly helps. Any support you show. Because let's face it, not many people, I'm guilty of this as well, hit that like button. They don't normally hit it. Because you like something and you go, oh, that's funny, and you go on to the next thing, and you go on to the next thing. But if you do show some kind of interaction, the programs, unless they changed it, but from why I've always been informed, that if you do take the time to share it, comment or whatever, that tells the AI that, hey, someone likes this enough, let me show it to 3 other people, see if they like it. If they like it, then they'll go on and on and on and on and on. But again, I don't really ever like asking for that because I figured if it really touches your heart, your soul, or your funny bone, you're going to click on it. You're going to say something, and that means I did my job. And if you didn't, then it's either it wasn't for you or somebody needs to get back to work, and that would be me. Speaking of work, okay, so as you see, I have this stuff right here, and what we're going to do, I'm going to turn this group on. I've already got one image here that I was, like I said, I'm going to go back to the old man thing. I really does not like to go up there. It's like out of its little registering area. So I want to keep this right here. So I may have to stroke that. So now I'm going to be trying to do some of this in real time for the most part. And again, I cannot see any chat or anything, so I'm hoping that I will be able to do that later. You know, make your comments and stuff. I'm going to work on trying to find more about that as we go on. I want to get more interacting because that's another reason why I've been wanting to do this for years, was the interacting with people. Instead of just, here's a post, here's a pretty picture, well, hopefully a pretty picture, or a good piece of art for you to see and you swoop by. You know, I want to connect with you. I'm going to connect with my fans. I'm going to connect with the people who are enjoying what I'm doing. I want to see what you are doing. And that's why I told somebody recently, too. I had an artist pop up in my Twitch. I know I'm getting off tangents, but there's a reason. That asked to want to say, hey, I do emotes. I do artwork, blah, 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 blah. Would you like to see it? And I told them, go to talk to me, Legacy717 at gmail.com, and I will be happy to work at it. They still haven't sent anything yet, so I don't know if they were real or maybe they felt offended. But when I was in the middle of playing, I was like, I really can't talk about business right now, you know, but I will be happy to look at your work. And I even said in the stream, and this was Wednesday during the No Man's Sky, that if you have something you would like me to look at, or a creator or something, just like this week on Facebook, I had 3 people send me an artist who's doing hands. Beautiful work, beautiful. And they're like, oh God, he's amazing, it's great. And I'm like, okay, I gotta share this. And that's gonna be my career showcase for the week, because I'm getting too many people not. And I don't know if this guy is big, or because I like to focus on unsung artists and not as established, because I know what it's like trying to put myself out there. But I thought it was worth it. So that's why I was putting it up. So if you do have something you want to showcase, or questions, or I don't know, hey, I like what you're doing, Legacy. Keep it up. It'll be great to hear from you. So, anyway, so we're going to try to make this little stroke. Yeah, that seems a little big on that. And, you know, all this stuff too. Ooh, I didn't want to go to the 6. No. Don't do that. I wanted, yeah. Just type it in. How about that? Take that, Facebook. I'll show you I will. Now, you're also probably wondering why I still have These Are the Voyages of. That's just to let me know right now that's where the font is going to be and where I'm going to move things. So I'm just using it as a placeholder at the moment. Because over here, I have about 19 or 20, I don't even remember, different snapshots is what it's called in VideoPad, where one cool thing about it is that you can take in VideoPad, you can take a screenshot, as it were, of your video in different resolutions. So I have all these nice high definition screenshots, which will look better. And I can put that together. And that's kind of how I did this one right here. These were just really nice high resolution because it was already 1080p. So, which I'm going to do, hopefully, the same here. But, as you guys can see, I got to resize everything. I mean, I could leave it like this right now, I think. I could just hold that, name it something cool with the clips. But, does it really show everything I want them to see? Because you got to think about, too, the subject matter that you're doing. Now, this one I may use for one of the, because I have the big block of all those different segments. I have a whole bunch of matches. And then I have another one where Matches was me and It's Blast playing together. And then I did one of the campaign. So I might save this because this is actually for one of my matches to have something like that. But again, this is one of those things you kind of just play with and you figure out, like, I am of course, like, perfectionist. So I want to have it a certain way, or want a certain feel, whatever. But like I said, I don't know. I just have to play around with it. And this is the process that you guys don't normally get to see, with me at least. And with artists in general. I mean, we always are like making some kind of conscious decisions about stuff. I thought this one was pretty funny, especially since this board has a very, and so you can see this is an actual screenshot because that's me playing the game. I think it's pretty hilarious. I like the fact that he's like, you know, on this Borderlands type board, he's like, oh god, because I just got shot, of course. So that's another thing. It's like, which one do I want to focus on? This was a screenshot from, ooh, that one didn't come out too well. Look at that. That's like very pixelated. It must have been right in the blur motion when that was happening. If I use that one, I might have to put it in the background. But honestly, I don't like it. I don't like the fact it's so pixelated looking. No, we're going to get rid of that. Oh, see, this one did the same thing. I thought I had a good one. And that was a guy body flying towards me that fell off the top. Nah, so you can't tell you what that is. So this is what I was thinking mainly. Let's go ahead and square some of these down. Where I was going to make it where, you know, something like this. You know, maybe focus a little bit more in here. And then I'll move these screenshots, or I'll erase some of it out around. So I like that. Let's go. Oh yeah, this was a great shot. I was just like, oh my god. So this might be pretty good for if I had some cool slug line, you know, tagline for it and everything. I could make something, because this would, me visually, be like, oh wow, what is going on in there? You know, look at the explosions. What is this thing over here? Especially if I don't know the game. You know, what is that interest? Wow, I want to click on this. And hopefully when I click on it, I enjoy it. But again, we still got rid of the Hello Game, so we can move this font over now. Because that's definitely not a Hello Games game. Yeah, I really like that. That's a cool one. So I may, as you can see too, just real quick, another thing. So you see here, this is how flat that font is right now. I'm going to click off of it so you can see it better. And when I doubled it up, though, and added some effects, I can make it glow just enough to get it off the screen, as it were, off that image, to make it feel like it pops just a little bit. Just enough to be like, oh, my eyes gravitate to it, versus having it straight flat like this. I mean, that's just my own personal preference. This still works, but I think doing it this way just makes it a little bit, just a little touch of creativeness there. Now I feel like Bob Ross. Just a little, really happy little trees in the mountains and stuff. And that's another thing too. I came across somebody recently. Facebook actually gave me somebody I actually wanted to see, and not just some weird soft porn that I don't know why I get. Yeah, I have questions. Or a whole bunch of advertisements, because I never get to see anything from people I actually want to see. But there was this guy, and you guys can look him up here. And if you really want to see the next Bob Ross, to me, is this Josh, Painting with Josh, I believe is what it is. Amazing guy. He even has a video where I don't know if he did it with an AI thing or whatever, where him and Ross is hugging. He's like, I would love for this to happen. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I think I'm like a corny idealist. It's like, this is great. I gotta watch more of this guy's stuff when I get time. But yeah, just another person to check out. Okay, so we're back on that. We got 18. Okay. I like that shot. What is this? Oh, yeah, because I was over here. Oh, so yeah, this is another one I thought. So this is... this was a great little match. I know that moved everything over. Oh, God. So this is a clip of where I was going over this little ledge, and this other player was coming at me, and we were jumping to each other at the same time. We both kind of had that like cotton deer headlight, like what the? And then it was this whole fight. She beat the crap out of me. And I was like, wait a minute. I don't know what just happened. I gotta watch that again. Oh, it was pretty funny. I was like, I love it. So I thought about maybe having that somewhere, maybe where you see me laughing and enjoying the game. Maybe that can also be a way to get people's attention, as well. It's like, oh wow, what happened here? Why is he laughing so hard? Is there something here worth my time? And that's true for, I think, any type of anything you're doing. With advertising, they also like here. I thought maybe this could be a centerpiece, where I got shot by this weird special effects gun that they have in there that makes hearts. So it filled me with heart bullets. So much love. Filled me with so much love. I'm just like, okay. So that could be one. And I thought about having like a lot of these, since these were so red, because it's supposed to be like this death effect or blood going on, that I might put that in the background and put some color ones on top to balance that out. So I have a lot of these like that, but I'm not sure just yet. Let's see what this is. Oh yeah, see, that's a better shot. That's a better shot of me going crazy there. That, I guess I didn't get the clip. He must have gone out. Is this guy came up behind me, and you have like these I don't know what you would call assassinations, or it's probably not what you call them. Anyway, they kill you from behind. And the guy came up behind me while I was shooting, and he hit me, and my character went flying across the screen. And I'm like, all up into the atmosphere. And I'm like, what? So that was pretty funny. So this one I might use instead, since it's also a little clearer. And then again, I may go back into VideoPad, which I do have loaded, and try to find these clips again, and and try to make it that way, because I have to make a few of these thumbnails. So this, I could do this. I could have this right here, and then, like I said, I would erase all that stuff out and everything too later on. And I could put in some effects. Let's see. Let's do that right now. Let's try that. Let's show y'all what I'm talking about, at least. All right, we're going to delete. Oh, it's a smart object. Okay, fine. It's not that smart. I kind of rasterize this thing so I can mess with it. All right. Delete. Okay, so we have all this wonderful background now, right? All right, we're going to delete that. Okay, I still got the fonts from the game that I gotta get rid of. So let's do this. And like I said, I don't know if I'll go with this, but just for demonstration purposes, so you guys can see. So in the different layers and stuff, and the different things you can do with it. So I want to erase this right here. We're going to erase all of that beautiful fonts out. And this is also using what you have available. I know a lot of people, when they do Control Z that. Yes, Control Z is your friend. That is undo. Learn it very well. It works on Microsoft Word too. Yeah, just to let you know. Okay. Thought that was part of that, but I guess not. So, using what you have. Sorry, I got myself distracted. What you have available to yourself. So these are assets, as it were, that I can use to create things around what I'm trying to convey. Especially with that, it's like, I'm playing Call of Duty. I don't feel bad about showing you scenes from Call of Duty, because that's what I'm actually doing. at the time. Now, if this was my own thing or my own artwork or whatever, then I would show my own work, as you guys have seen in different thumbnails and stuff, you know, and how I laid all that out and everything. And then again, let me go ahead and I'll bring up some examples on that. Oh, real quick too, while I am thinking about it, the music you are hearing, it's just very background music, is from Incompetent.com. Kevin MacLeod, his stuff is royalty free. I will put in the description later his music, which when I'm playing, I should have already done that, just to cover that, because he does ask for credit. So you're hearing the same loop over and over. I just wanted to have something until I work out some streaming music, as it were. But I did want to say who I was using, because I always, not only because it's required to, but I always like to give credit where credit is due. You know, for people, because they put in a lot of time and effort in what they are doing, and you know, and they're kind enough to let you use it. So I'm gonna bring up a couple of other. I don't know if you guys are actually seeing me looking at screens or not. Probably not. Since we're talking about thumbnails anyway. All right. So I'm going to bring up a couple more that I've done so you guys can see on that. There's one. Where did my folder go? Too many things running in the background right now, chat. Yeah, see, I'm so used to saying chat now, too. I'm so used to saying chat. That's crazy. Well, let me show... yeah, that'd be a good difference. Okay. Alright. Where's the other? I keep losing the folder. My apologies. I'm terrible. Okay. I know I'm showing a lot of game stuff, but let me get into the Let's Draw videos. We want to see the Let's Draw videos, don't we? Yes. Yes. Everyone loves watching Let's Draw. Ah, come on. Oh, man. Can I get it to be large icons? Maybe one day it will happen. Technology. Okay. So, let me show you. All right. Now that you're seeing this. This is a sample from, this is my basic template that I created for my Let's Draw videos. All the fonts too that you're seeing, I have a license for those, so I can reuse them. That's why I use a lot of the same fonts, because I paid for them. And I didn't want to have to explain to somebody, oh, well, you borrowed my font and you didn't give me any money. So in this one, I wanted to get your attention with this little dynamic, you know, off the angle, you know, let's draw with L717 Studios, and here's the piece right here, and isn't it awesome? You know, you too want to see this drawing, and I wanted it to be about the drawing, not me, not my face, not anything like that. And then I wanted to have a little info bar down here where if you just happen to be like me and you're like, well, which one is this? Well, this is episode 2 of Character Designs 1, which means I will be doing more character designs and showcasing those, but this is episode 2 of the series. Now, does it work? I don't know, but for me, since I'm OCD, it helps me. So, but I did have this little background that you guys see all the time, the little star field, and again, that's all part of a branding thing for me. Branding my stuff and also creating something that I can reuse again and again and again and again without having to create something new all the time, because it takes a lot of time to put this stuff in. Even a little thumbnail, you know, if you're like me, some people can just pop it in and be done. You can go into a chat GP probably and pop it in and get it done, but as an artist, I want to do a little bit more than just that. So, because you know why? Because I'm crazy. Right. So, this is the thumbnail that I created for the very first game I ever recorded, which was the Punisher arcade game, and I thought it was so cool. And I had my cohort, Mr. Muse, help me take a picture of that, of me in this outfit. He helped me put it together. We had like a mixture of like sci-fi and different little, you know, the little first aid kit, and I was messing around. I put this little white outline because I was like, oh man, that makes it really pop. And I saw a couple other people did it. And then with this over here, I keep pointing, the Halo blade here, I forget what they're called, the sword, forgive me, my fandom goes away sometimes. I actually painted this out, and you know, I just thought it was so cool, and I wanted to see this gaming with me. And this was my dog, Orion, and I drew out this little scarf, put the lines in, painted it what best I could, got this visor from a photo I had of this kind of sunglasses, and I repainted it, put the little symbols in to probably make him ninja, you know, ninja cyber dog. That's a Nerf gun, and you know, a couple highlights and stuff there. But again, this was more about me, and it's the wrong size. I had made it so when you start the game, I had my intro, you would see this, and then you would go into the game itself. Well, this was unnecessary. This was great for an ending screen, which is what you see now. This is great for a promo, but not for a thumbnail. So when I redid those Punisher things, because as you guys who've been with me for a while know, I lost so much material. All my Destiny videos, I had tons of those. And I even had them on a backup drive that my cohort came over to help me with, and they're just gone. Just gone. So I'll never see them again. Okay, so instead, this time when I did it, I said I wanted it to be about the game. And I was doing the collage idea because I had just done the Call of Duty one. And then I was like, oh, I could put the episode 1 over here up in the corner, because I broke those down into 3 episodes. Which, as I was told a while back, it probably would have made more sense to connect them, to have them all together as one video instead of 3. Well, I didn't think people would sit there for over an hour or something, or whatever, how long it was to watch them. I was hoping if they liked the first video, that they would go to the second video and onwards. But these are screenshots from the game. This was art that was done for it. I couldn't get a higher resolution copy of it, so maybe not the right choice on that. But at the time, I was like, I gotta get it done. It's gotta get out. It's a thumbnail. Hopefully, when you zoom into it, you can see it better. You know, I mean, it's not as noticeable. It's what my process was thinking. All right, we'll close this out and see. And since you guys didn't get to see, since I forgot to zoom out. Like, this is what I was saying with the episode 2 and all that. It's very basic. It's very basic, but I think it's a little catchy. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think of, especially about the thumbnails. Are they catchy enough for you? Do they get your attention? Do you want some more information? Because that's what this whole interaction thing is about. Trying to force myself not to just give everyone what they want, because you cannot do that. You can't make everybody happy. But trying to learn more about my art, how it affects people, what do they feel about it. Like I said, the last few years, when people look at my artwork, they call it a coloring book. You know, and when I usually, originally with HurryNet, it really upset me. I won't lie, like, I'm not just a coloring book artist. Because I was thinking lowbrow, like cheap coloring, but then I didn't realize how much of a compliment that was. That means someone can color over my work. That means they could be so inspired that they could just have fun with it. That means I'm doing my job. There you go. So, alright, we're going to look at these other 2 thumbnails real quick. And I'm going to remember to zoom out this time, because I got my webcam there. Okay, so you got Super Punch-Out. I thought this one came out pretty well. I think it's probably better than the actual video. But the thumbnail's really nice. And the comeback was, can I come back and make it? It was towards the end, because I was listening to the video and listening for key moments in the video of what I was saying, because that's another thing too. Titles, oh my god, because it's like, do you be generic with it? Now there are some process like vidIQ on YouTube, some other things or AIs that will create a title for you. But sometimes it really feels like that's not you. That's not who you are. So what I try to do when I do my videos is that I try to listen to what I was saying in the video and use that, if I can, a certain moment or key phrase or something I said that I thought was humorous, whatever. So when the viewer is actually watching it, they go, oh, he actually talked about the comeback. He actually talked about such and such and whatever. He didn't just clickbait me, you know, and I always hate that too. But this right here, I thought really turned out well, especially with the different colors. And I think it's, you know, it was laid together. I did have some work cutting this character out and putting him back together and kind of painting him up a little bit because it didn't cut very well at the time. But again, I think this one really gets your attention. And then I got my little logo off to the side. It's there, but it's not in your face. It's not going, please pay attention to me. This is what the video is about. This is what the information is. Let your work speak for you. And sometimes even I have to remind myself of that. And going back to the greatest piece of advice that I ever got as an artist from my very first art teacher, who I absolutely love, who's unfortunately no longer with us, Mr. Scott Leach. He always said, less is more. Over and over, because I used to put so much, and you guys see it, I still put detail in everything. I put too much detail sometimes, but he would remind us that less is more. Let your work speak for you. Keep it simple sometimes, because sometimes even the simplest designs, simplest layouts can be the most effective trying to reach your audience, trying to reach your viewer. So that was another thing I wanted to kind of convey with that. You know, I was trying to be like, again, it's about the game. Is it the comeback or not? I don't know. Go watch the video and find out. You tell me. This lock on tab does not like to go up top. Okay, so we're back on this. Like I said, this is going to be one of those where I'm just going to have to kind of play with it for a while and see what I like. I do like the fact that this is me playing the game and I'm laughing, but I still feel like I need to pull myself out of the picture. You know, or do I want to put myself? Now, I know there's some YouTubers that I watch, like Maximilian, who I absolutely love him. He's he's great. I love his intro and everything. Or LGR. I love his stuff. You know, they sometimes have like a white outline of the person around them, you know, and then the background of what it is. And I see that's pretty common. And I could do that. I could cut myself out. Why am I pointing at that? I'm so used to it. I could cut myself out here and, you know, like I did on the other one and kind of put that in there. But again, I don't know. I don't know if that's what I want to do. We're just going to have to keep playing around and see. But I know I'm going to have this much space to work with because this is going to be the focus. This is going to be the old man. The old man's coming in. I'm going to take them all out with all my hate. So, all right. I think I'm on 7. Let's go to V to move so I can get back to controls. What is this? Why do I have a screen? Hey, maybe I was thinking, okay, now I know. I was thinking about, that could be a background, and I put the stuff around it or whatever, but that seems like a bad idea. Redo. Alright, so now we got another explosion where I got blown up. Yes, explosions. You know, right now I am leaning that maybe one of these explosion ones, just the explosion itself, may be the one. You know, just because it's, again, less is more. Maybe this time, instead of going with all this, which is a whole bunch of clips, then maybe having just one major shot right there in your face and come up with a cool slug line for it and the slug line was going to be highlights and shenanigans. Maybe I'll change that now based upon this right here. But that might actually be pretty cool. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Alright, so if we do that, there's this nice contrast too, I think, where you have this little... I'm doing it again. Where you have this little darker, this dark red, darker palette of color over here, where you have this really bright color. You know, the big flash, the bleeding out of everything, you know, just the washing, not bleeding, washing out. So that might be, and I would make this probably a little bit bigger too. Let's see. Just so we can focus more on that. Okay. So, Control 0. Yeah, Control 0. Okay, so I don't know. Like I said, I still feel like I want to add something, but it's one of those, like, you just gotta keep playing with it. So let's go ahead and change this. Whoop, wrong one. I went the copy one. Yes, the copy. I'm gonna rename this MW3 but fails. Oh, maybe if I learn to spell. Oh man. Ah! Here we go! It was the name of one of my streams, actually. The old man. Oh, come on. My spacebar gets caught up. Alright. So... Yep, we'll have these kids be killing the old man, which they really were. A lot of good plays in that thing. But I had my moments. There was a few moments in there I did pretty good now. You know, don't be thinking the old man can't hang anymore. Maybe not like he used to. Still put it down. Alright, so obviously since it's so many words, I'm going to have to make the font a little smaller, which is a little dangerous. Because if it's too small... then, and I clicked on the wrong thing, then it's going to end up not being maybe legible. So I may have to do some rearranging here. So I may have to make my logo smaller now to fit for this. But like I said, this seems pretty good. I don't know. I will be curious to see what you guys think in this. Let's see. Bam. Let's put a couple of, yeah, you gotta have the explanation point. These kids be killing the old man. Alright, we're gonna duplicate later. Maybe it's one of those, as Bob Ross would say, happy accidents. So, but, other than that, this is pretty much the process. This is kind of how, and I'll probably go back through these again, and I'm gonna keep messing around with it until I find what I like or what I feel conveys. I might even go talk to a couple people too, some of my other cohorts, and say, hey, what do you guys think of this? Yeah, this was one of those I got shot. Nah, I don't care about that one. That one's not visually interesting. Now see, this is visually interesting. This one might even be better than the other one, since there's a whole bunch of like me dying or getting killed in this particular video that this is going to be showcasing. You know, you know what? I actually kind of like that one a little bit better. It's a little, yeah, that's pretty funny. Again, this is what you do. You go through it, and this is an art form in itself. When it comes to, I have a good buddy who's been doing design for years, a long time, who is so much better at it than I am, and I try to pay attention to what he does and what he says and his suggestions, because graphic design people too get a lot of crap. It's an art form. It really is. I mean, it is images, it is putting together, but you still have to have an artistic eye to see it. I mean, it's like I tell people all the time, I can't build you a car, I can't fix a car, but I can draw you a car. You know, that's my gifts. So each and every one of us have an artist gift of some sort. But yeah, I kind of like this one though, because it is funny. He's like, yeah, you know, yeah. I think I might like that one as well. That one's pretty good. Yeah, this one. Oh god, this was another one. This was I was running to attack this other player who was hiding behind a car, and then when I was running towards her, I heard the Mosquito, which is this flying drone that will dive bomb, blow you up, coming towards me. That she must have put up and was hiding, thinking that was going to protect her. And I was like, "Oh no, I'll take you with me!" Boom! And we all went. Both of us went exploding. It was great. Alright, so yeah, this is another one where I had this whole just shot, and like I said, this would have worked like if you did a corner shot with it, but here's this one's a possibility. But I think the other one's more humorous, and that's what I'm going for, you know, just more humor, you know, something to laugh. That's when I shot that guy with the grenade launcher that came out running towards me. I might use that on a different clip, or I might use it to make a clip for that highlight. So just to put these together and then come up with the other sayings. But I think, oh look, No Man's Sky is still up. Yeah, and if you also notice over here to the right, since I got the mouse, I have all these in groups, in group folders, because I have all the logos and stuff there. I have everything. Let's just turn them all back on. So let's get rid of the COD stuff for now. Alright. This makes it easier for me, so I can go back and put these together quickly. The only thing that's changed is the font. So let's just take out the font real quick so that won't be so distracting. So many layers, and that's the reason why you gotta put them in groups like this. Sometimes you can end up, especially if you're using the same, like this is my template, it's the same size, it works on everything, and I don't have to recreate this file over and over to make a thumbnail. You know, I have my font, and that's what I would suggest if you guys are getting into editing or doing thumbnails, doing your own stuff. Find you a theme, a brand, to be able to put it together, and you can do it very quickly. Maximize your work flow, because all this is going to take time. So maximize it the best you can. You know, whatever makes it easier, because thumbnails are important. They are a very crucial thing to get people's attention. But also there's the video, the content. Did you deliver? Is it entertaining? That's another thing too. I've had these discussions, and I don't know if I'm always entertaining or not myself. But if I'm doing something like this because I ramble, then I'm trying to showcase a little bit, give you a little insight of what I'm doing. Now, if this was a step-by-step process, I would break it down more. I would, you know, have less of me rambling and more focus on it. I would have notes, I would have detail. But this is live, so you're going to get what you get. If you're doing something like gaming, comedy, whatever it is, you got to make sure it's entertaining for people, because that's what you're doing. You're either teaching, educating someone, or you're entertaining, basically. And that's the way I feel about it. You're showing someone how to do something, or how they can do it, or how they can make it, or how to learn something. Or you're trying to make them laugh, cry, get mad, sad, love, whatever. So, or a mixture of the two. So you got to keep that in mind with all this stuff. So try to get you a theme around that is my suggestion. And go out and ask other creators their suggestions, because there are people who are a lot better at this than I am, who have thousands of followers, you know, and take their advice, because they might be doing something a lot better than me. But I would say create your own way of doing stuff. Find a work flow, a production flow that works for you and how you do things. But, you know, like I said, I got all these wonderful, like, I just covered up. All I did was take that screenshot, which I thought was great. And then, of course, I got my space background. And I just put that there and I cut that out and put that line there. Because it goes with the original. Which, as you can see, it's very pixel. Like I said, I found a higher resolution copy. And it used to have No Man's Sky Beyond. As you saw earlier, too, with the Hello Games, it used to be located up here. Because I had it No Man's Sky by Hello Games in the original thumbnails and stuff, which I can bring one of those up easier just to show you instead of talking about it. You know you can do that, Johnny. Instead of just rambling on. I'm a rambling. Here we go. I'm a rambling. I'm a rambling man. Alright, come on thing. I know I'm slow. I know. Okay, so here's the original, see? And like I said, this was a high definition screenshot from the actual clip. I had No Man's Sky Beyond by Hello Games, more glitches and shenanigans, blah blah blah, and this was the theme I had throughout all of them. Like I said, this is the ones I'm talking about, maybe updating that stuff on the left. At least I was moving both my hands this time, the mouse and my hand, when I'm indicating. Now, this one was a pain, too, because I had all this information going by, and I actually had to kind of turn down the opacity a little bit and blur it out, like, up top, because it was so busy. Even though I was trying to show how crazy that moment was, that was in the video I want you to see, because those videos was even before I had the ability to record any audio. All I was doing was putting up clips, and my creative solution for that at the time, which I have used and will be continuing using, was I was taking my fonts and making like a comic book kind of thing, or a cartoon where the little saying will pop up, and trying to have some cool little sound effects with it to get it some kind of entertainment value. To try to come out with a creative solution. You can't do my voice. Oh, I could record it. I could record my voice and fake like I was playing, but I don't remember what I was playing at that time. I mean, this is like weeks later or days later. Sometimes it was a month later because I worked so much. But that's what I was trying to do. Come up, and that's why I was saying, come up with creative solutions to your limitations. It's what the guys used to do back in the day. It's what the people at Disney and Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers, they couldn't achieve something, so they found a creative solution, like with a sound effect or with this or that, to make it work. Don't tell yourself that you cannot do something until you tried every avenue. Just like with this tablet thing. This tablet thing has been driving me mad for weeks now. Well, I still have the old Wacom. Is it what I want to use? No, not really. Am I frustrated to no bit out that I cannot use my XP Pen tablet? Yes. But instead of focusing on the negative and focusing on what I can't do, let's focus on what I can. So that's why you guys are getting all the games. That's why you guys are getting this stuff right now. This is what I'm able to do. It's still creative. It's still work that needs to be done. And it's still just as important. It's not everything I want to show, but this is what I'm able to do. And sometimes that's all you can do. So, anyway. Alright. Well, I think maybe we might have just got lucky with all that. I didn't want to put that on there. I want that one on. I gotta turn these back on now. Alright. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I know that star background's still there, but I always just leave it. Sometimes a little bit shows through, depending, and sometimes it gets covered up. Heart bullets! Try to remember which number it was. Nope. Yeah, it's going to be a hard decision. But I do believe that's the winner. Right now, less is more is probably going to be the way to go. But I'll give myself a little time to think about it. Maybe I'll come back to it tomorrow. Maybe I'll be like, well, I could do this or I could do that. But also it comes down to time constraints. So maybe I won't do it. Maybe this is what I'll end up with because it's got to get done. Because as a crazy perfectionist, I could be here all day making a thumbnail. So again, sometimes you have to cut yourself from doing too much. All right. I'm going to end it there because God knows how long I've been rambling on. I hope you guys got something out of this. I hope you learned something, maybe even just an appreciation of all the hard work that creators do, that do social media, that make videos and stuff, and everything that you've got to do to make things a reality. Or maybe hopefully gave you some inspiration to say, hey, I could do it better than him. Do it. Do it better than me, please. I would love to see it because that doesn't offend me at all. Because as a creator, I want you to create. I want you to be passionate about what you're doing because that's how I am. I love what I do and I want everyone to be able to love what they do as well. As always, my friends, be good to each other and never stop dreaming.